Hey there, YouTube. How's everybody doing out there today? Beautiful Wednesday here in South Alabama after a night where we had storms predicted, but nothing right around in our specific area, so that's good. I thought of today I would just share with you the variety and color I eat weekly on a mostly raw vegan diet. Let me go ahead and say mostly raw vegan diet. I'll tell you what, for some of the ones that it bothers out there, I'll give you a trigger warning before I mention any of the cooked food. Because I noticed some of that raw vegan community, any mention of cooked food is like throwing holy water on a demon. They just, it freaks them out a little bit. But yeah, I eat mostly raw. But like I say, I just like to be transparent and show exactly what I do. I try to remind people as much as possible that I'm not fully raw vegan, have never cared about being fully raw vegan, and I'm not focused on being fully raw vegan. Although I've lived for long stretches of time fully raw vegan because I just decide what I'm going to eat every day. There really is no okay, I'm planned it out. I'm eating this much cooked or this much whatever. But I'm very much up in the high percentiles. We're definitely up in the 97, 98% raw. But I started going down the list, and I'm sure I've left some things off of there. And I tried to I didn't write just every little item down that I might use one time. I'm trying to kind of show you the things that are repetitive that I always eat week in, week out on a regular basis. And like I say, this is just the biggest takeaway. I'm going to actually read Fiber Fueled one of these days. As much as I talk about it and recommend it, I've never actually read it. I've listened to him give his talk. I've listened to him talk on a number of podcasts. But the basic thing that I take out of that for the gut biome, for somebody that generally has good digestion and is healthy, such as myself, I'm just building that immune system, building strength. I'm just always trying to put more variety. That's what it's about. And I think, as I'm talking here and trying to tell people how you can use little tricks to, eat more like you actually want to eat, I focus on these things. If you will focus, I'm telling you, instead of stop thinking, it's kind of that, I don't want to get off into that kind of, but the scarcity and abundance. People are thinking about what they're not having, what they're missing. Oh, I can't have this on their raw vegan diet, or what they're wanting, even if it's still not the best choice. When you should be thinking on what you do need. What do you need to put into your body to fuel your body? And everybody's going to have a different opinion on that. These are just the things that I use. Like I said, this channel, I don't preach at nobody. Sometimes people will make a comment. I guess they haven't seen me before. Like I'm trying to convert, recruit, like I'm going to be angry. They'll mention some food, like I'm going to break down, like, oh no, tell me it ain't so, sweetie. You're not really eating that, are you? Eat it. But let's go through. Bananas, of course, bananas. Bananas are a base. I'm looking at my banana table over there. There's always bananas in the house. I'm not quite as much of a monkey eating bananas all the time like I was down in the tropics, but I still eat a lot of bananas. I mean, I'm probably going to eat 10 bananas every single day. And on most days, a lot more. I use bananas in my nice cream. I use them in my acai bowls. I use them in my green smoothies. So bananas are always going to be a staple in the house. Since I've moved down here, mangoes. I have access to several Publix grocery stores in the area, and they generally have good mangoes. You'll go through a period every once in a while where they're not so great, and usually if I buy them 4 at a time, and if I buy them and they're not good in this one, then I don't buy them for a while. Blueberries. I buy both frozen blueberries at Publix, and I get blueberries from around here, but I'm constantly having blueberries. Blueberry smoothies, just blueberries with the bananas. The one I've been sharing a lot lately with people, my beet, banana, and frozen blueberry smoothies. What else? Red leaf lettuce. I don't eat a big salad every single day, but I figure I eat a big salad at least 5 days out of the week. Red leaf lettuce is my preferred lettuce. I shop for it at one particular store in our area, and it's huge. I get ones that are really, really huge. So it's not just a little bit of lettuce in there. We're talking about a big full head of lettuce in all my salads. The things I chop up and put on my salads, I always keep chopped broccoli, and I always keep chopped purple cabbage in my refrigerator. So on every one of those salads, I'm banging out So if I'm having at least 5 salads a week, I'm putting broccoli and purple cabbage on there. Now I had carrots down the list because I don't I don't know. Maybe I had some carrot soup last week. I don't always have carrots, but that's something I'm going to add and make a regular thing also to add to my fixings in the refrigerator that are already ready to put on top of the salad, because it just adds more color, it's flavorful, it's good, and just adds a little bit more nutrition in there. Cucumbers. Cucumbers, high water content. I just like cucumbers. They just add to the salad. I generally will put cucumber in most of my salads. Sometimes I don't have it around the house. Walnuts. Walnuts are primarily, I mostly use them in my acai bowls. Since I've started making those acai bowls, I'll chop up, a serving or a little bit, a handful of walnuts, put it in my acai bowl. It's a good brain nut. Great nut. Lentil sprouts. I know you've heard me talk about, unless it's your first video, you've heard me talk about lentil sprouts ad nauseum in the past. Always have some sprouting, always have some ready to use. I mess up sometime and have just a brief period where I may have a couple of days, but right now I got some in the fridge and I got a new batch going. And those lentil sprouts, I can't recommend them enough. Hemp seeds, of course. I use hemp seeds in a lot of the salad dressings that I use. And I also use hemp seeds in almost all my green smoothies. I try to switch it up with the chia seeds and sometimes the flax because it has a better omega-3 profile. But the hemp seeds are good for omega-3 as well. So use a lot of hemp seeds. Beets. Especially since I started really getting hooked on that smoothie that I like. I've got beets all the time. When I have a smoothie, I put a fairly decent sized beet in there, and I put a whole beet in there. So I'm having 4 or 5 beets during the week. I always put fermented on top of my salads. I'll either have sauerkraut or I have purple cabbage, carrot, and beet. I'm going to start doing my own fermented though. I got the right jars for it. Just last week I needed bigger jars. Kale, because I use a lot of kale in my green smoothies. Tahini, I love tahini in salad dressings. I use almond butter. I don't go crazy on the almond butter. Those are the kind of things you want to be a little bit more conservative on. I use them, I use almond butter maybe a couple of times a week, sometimes in my ice cream, sometimes in a smoothie, sometimes just on the next item, which is dates. Love to put just a little dollop of almond butter on a date, just like a little candy bar. And also I use dates in a lot of my salad dressings as well. Lemons. I've got a few salad dressings that use those, so I do use lemons every week, probably use at least 3 or 4. Apple cider vinegar I use in my dressings. I sprinkle a little wakame, I'm never sure how to say that, seaweed on all my salads, just a little bit of iodine in there. I'll generally sprinkle just a small handful, just covering the handful of sunflower seeds on top of my salad after I've put the dressing, mixed it and everything. Just a little bit of crunch. Kiwis. I haven't had kiwis as much the last week or so, but I started eating kiwis about 3 or 4 months ago, and I really enjoy them. So I eat them fairly regularly. Okay, now the cooked food. I'll let some of you avert your eyes and go away so it doesn't trigger you there. I think I've said it before, the main cooked food I eat is sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. I love them. I put them on top of salads, and everybody wants to get detailed. How do I fix them? Sometimes I steam them, sometimes I bake them. Just however, cook them how you like them. But I love me some sweet potatoes. And more times than not, when I eat sweet potatoes, I'm having a salad. I'll just put a couple of sweet potatoes or sometimes one sweet potato on top of a big salad. But I do generally have on top of the sprouted lentil sprouts, the raw sprouts, I do have legumes. I'll generally have legumes at least once a week, sometimes twice. Actually, Depends on time of the year what we're getting around here, and it'll usually be either black-eyed peas, purple hull peas, or black beans. I'll cook black beans sometime, and I'll cook lentils sometime. And sometimes I'll use black beans out of the can. I get the low sodium, and other times I'll cook them. I'll soak them overnight and slow cook them. But and then one other thing that I eat regularly that's cooked is collard greens. I just love collard greens. No, there's one last thing too. I love collard greens. I like to have collard greens. I don't know that I have collard greens once a week. I need a big old pot of collard greens at least once every couple of weeks. And I also like some steamed cabbage. That's another, like I say, my salads are just this little, it's touching different feels, different tastes, different textures, different things. And I like to put, sometimes I will steam a head of cabbage, and I will put steamed cabbage on top of my salads as well. So as you can, and like I said, these are just the things that I'm banging out regularly all the time. If I started listening week by week individual stuff, this stuff would still be on the list, but there would also be some other things listed on there. So the takeaway from this is maybe sit down one day and just write down, think about how many things you get per week, how much variety you actually get in that gut biome. And if when you make your list, if you're not happy with the amount of variety on your list, start adding to that list. That's a great place to start. So anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you tomorrow or Friday. Peace.